welcoming yourself to your practice this morning. As you breathe in, know you are breathing in. As you breathe out, know you are breathing out. Maybe this is where you stay for a practice today. An entire lifetime of awareness could be built around the breath. So if it serves you to stay there, you get to choose how your practice is shaped, where awareness goes from moment to moment, from day to day, sit to sit. You may expand awareness into the body. Notice the posture that you've taken for our sit this morning. As we continue on in our journey of the Satipaṭṭhāna Sutta, you may start to notice that we start out with the most obvious of sensations, the biggest, the ones that are felt most strongly, and we start to move towards subtlety and abstraction. So you can practice that with each subsequent moment, noticing where the sit bones make contact with your block, your blanket, your chair. Notice how legs or ankles might be crossed. Notice how erect the spine might be. And then start to orient awareness and attention towards parts of the body that don't always exhibit or experience as much big sensation. One of my favorite practices is rubbing two fingers together as if you're rubbing a single grain of salt or sand in your fingers. Awareness shifting to the experience of awareness itself, clear comprehension of this entire entity. All of the subtle or large movements that we take, even while we are in a seat, we do so consciously. Awareness of how repulsive the body is. We were chatting a little bit about the repulsiveness of the body on Tuesday after our sit. This is a cure for lust. We treat the body well. We keep it clean. We keep it nourished. We keep it moving, exercising. All of this to support a long, healthy life so that we can stay on the path as long as we need to, but we don't over-rotate. We do not exhibit lustful thoughts towards the body. We do not over-rotate on beauty standards or what society says that the body should look like. Cures for lust encourage us to go back to the middle path. We choose with consciousness how we want to treat the body, not over-rotating in any single direction. We can come back to the four material elements as what is real within our experience. Earth, fire, water, and air. The final contemplation within mindfulness of the body are the 9 cemetery contemplations. In this contemplation, the Buddha offers some teachings to the monks who are following him, again as a balancing act of lust. This practice in and of itself is not to glamorize or treat death as if it's some thing that we need to fawn over, but to stay in balanced perspective. If any of these offerings from the Buddha are triggering, come back to any of the other 4 foundations of mindfulness in the body. And the Buddha shares with us, as if you see a body dead 1, 2, or 3 days, swollen, blue, and festering, thrown in the charnel ground. We apply this perception to our own body. Verily, my own body is of the same nature, and it will become and will not escape it. Thus, we contemplate the body, in the body internally. We live contemplating the body, in the body externally. Or we contemplate the body, in the body internally and externally. We contemplate origination factors in the body. We have mindfulness established with this thought: the body exists. To the extent necessary just for the knowledge and mindfulness, we live detached. We cling to nothing in this world. Thus, we contemplate the body in the body. And further, if we see a body thrown in the charnel ground being eaten by crows, hawks, vultures, dogs, jackals, or different kinds of worms, we apply this perception to our own body. My own body is of the same nature, such that it will become. We will not escape it. If we see a body thrown in the charnel ground, and it is reduced to a skeleton with some flesh, some blood attached to it, held together with tendons. If we see a skeleton reduced to blood smeared and without flesh, held together with tendons. If we see a skeleton reduced without flesh, without blood, only held together with tendons. If we see a skeleton reduced to the bones of the hand, the bones of the foot, the shin, the thigh, the pelvis, the spine, and the skull. If we see a body reduced to bleached bones, conch-like in color. If we see a body reduced to bones more than a year old, lying in a heap. Reduced bones become dust, and we apply this perception to our own body. This is the nature. Such it will become, and we will not escape it. In this mindfulness, we establish the thought: the body exists. To the extent necessary just for knowledge and mindfulness, we live detached. We cling to nothing in this world. Thus, we contemplate the body in the body. To the extent that you are comfortable with the visualization of a body thrown into the charnel ground, charnel in the ground. Stay with that visualization so that you can find mindfulness, detachment of the body. This body cannot escape nature. This body cannot escape the experience that everyone who has come before us has also experienced. If the mind starts to wander into why this matters, you can contemplate that for a couple of moments. Defeatists would say, if the body will end up as dust, does anything even matter? Purists, on the other end, would wonder, if this body turns to dust, then everything matters. Once again, I find myself somewhere in the middle. Some things matter because my body will turn to dust, and those are the spaces with consciousness, with mindfulness, with attention that I will pour my finite energy into. Stay with the contemplation. Stay with your mindfulness. In some Buddhist traditions, when a person passes away before cremation, there's a 3-day transition period. And over that time, it takes the 3 days for the soul, the Atman, to leave the physical body, move on to the next plane of existence, reincarnate, whatever the soul is bound to do. We have, hopefully, the benefit of many days ahead of us. The gift of a body as it is today, ever changing, we can treat it with care. We can exhibit love and kindness towards this body without over-rotating into lust. If you believe in the idea of soul or Atman, how can you manifest? How can you stay connected to the soul existing in this container? Whatever we have been given in this life, in this realm, is ours to care for while it is here. When we've been practicing mindfulness of the body for an entire month. And as always, this practice is best embodied off the cushion and in the real world. We practice here so that we can refine and form clearer concept, clearer connection to what is actually here. For the remainder of our practice, consider how you can take this lesson, these weeks of practice, off the mat, off the cushion, off the chair today. As we close practice, you're welcome to bring hands to heart center, keeping eyes closed or softening the gaze down at the floor. May the merits of this practice be of benefit to all sentient beings. We include ourselves in the circle of compassion. Thank you for your practice. Thank you. Thank you online.